Okay, I am recording and ready, I believe. So, hey Internet, I'm Gunter with MiniMishaps Games, and today we are going to be answering the call of the hashtag DND challenge. And action. Very nice. Okay, and we're back. So, a little of explanation here, I guess. So Ginny D put out the new hashtag D&D list of interview questions / challenge / get to know your DM / build up the world of Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games. And so that's what we're doing today. So we're going to do 2 sets of recordings, and so this one will be me being asked the questions, and then there'll be a separate set of answers maybe on Frybox64's channel over there for her answers to the questions.
Alright, let me know when you're ready.
I am ready. Question away.
Alright, question 1. What was your first D&D character?
Oh wow. Wow, I don't know that I remember. I started, my dad was my DM when I was 11, and I don't know what kind of character I had. I was probably a fighter or a barbarian, but the first actual character in memory was after I had been a DM for 25 years and made characters in your campaign. So Kip and Neon are my first real characters as players. That I remember. I know that I had a character, but I don't really remember it from those early days, because I think we changed them a lot. So I think, or maybe we made a bunch of characters and took turns using them, so that we weren't the same people playing it each time. In those early days, I gotta remember to look up here. I gotta put me up here so that I can't do that. It's not gonna let me. Okay,
I keep
so
looking over here at myself.
Yeah. You gotta look right there. Okay, we'll try. I can't look at you. You're down here. I have to look up here.
I know I'm down here and you're over here. I gotta look up here. Okay. Yes. Question number 2. Which D&D class is your least favorite to play, or do you not want to play?
Usually, and that varies wildly on the edition, but I purposefully didn't choose the monk to play in the current game because of, I think, I like being able to be creative about how I'm getting out of certain death, and I feel like running a monk, I would just be relying on the same skill all the time. I feel like I'm in witness protection answering, like I'm all shaded out because of the weird lighting in here.
Get like a voice distorter.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with my voice distorter.
Okay. Next up, number 3. What D&D spell would you most want to have in real life?
I would probably, everybody's going to probably say wish, but I think maybe one of the higher illusion spells. That would be a sort of a way you could make 2020, 2021 seem less awful.
Okay, next one. Number 4.
Next.
The next one. What's your favorite D&D monster?
I really like Rust Monster. I really like being able to take magic away from players and items. Yeah, that's a DM choice, but I'm standing by it.
Alright, number 5. What's your favorite NPC villain that you've encountered / created?
Yeah, that's probably gonna be Mandabark. just because Mandabark has such a long-standing impact on the world. So he's also created several of the other monsters and villains that have become recurring. Even after he got defeated and killed his science experiments and offspring and all those continued to haunt the world. So probably that. Mandabark. Dr. Mandabark.
I feel like I read it wrong because it was your favorite NPC / villain. So I guess like either your favorite NPC or villain. But yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Probably still.
Okay.
Probably still would be Mandabark for villain.
Okay. Cool. Question. The next one.
Oh yeah, I didn't send the numbers. Oh,
4, 5,
that's okay.
6. Okay, round 6. Question 6. Has one of your characters ever died, and what killed them?
Oh my. I mean, obviously, when you're the DM, your characters die all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like the staff turnover at the starter level inn for players murder hoboing them is just like constant. But as far as player characters, yeah, I fell out of a slide and my character splatted in hell and had to be Deus Ex Machina'd by the awesome DM to let me keep my character because I didn't understand gravity at the time. I didn't understand the gravity of the situation. So proud of myself.
I was like, no, there are too many plot points centered around this character. You are not dying now.
Yeah. Which is kind of a miracle since that character has 3 constitution, which is like a -4 modifier.
Okay, number 7. I gotta figure out where I'm at again. Number 7. What's your best Nat 20 story?
Ooh, that could be DM or player or character or other player or
Yes.
I think the series of Nat 20s and Nat 1s that led to Strahd's death by his own hand of the dagger, the god-slaying dagger, is probably the most memorable. So, superpowered vampire, basically powerful enough to fight the Greek gods. God-slaying dagger comes into play, I think, from the players, right? You guys brought that to the battle, and he got a hold of it somehow?
We had to go quest for it, yeah.
So he not only crit failed his attack, but he also then randomly rolled himself for accidental targets of the attack, stabbed himself with the God-slaying dagger, and then that would be totally fine. His corporeal form dies, but his essence starts to slink away as that cloud of I'll go recover in my coffin, and then Aphrodite was like 2 hit points of love fire damage, and fire is just like no more, Strahd, he gone. So he got a 1 and then a 20 for damage. She got a 20 for a critical hit on her fire thing, and it was just a series of like 9 rolls of impossible in a row for that to happen. But so he ended up killing himself after terrorizing the players for, I don't know, 7 years of real time.
Okay, and then on the reverse side, number 8, what's your best natural 1 story?
So I know that one had both in them, but probably the best nat 1, I was a dungeon master for a group of, one of the groups I go to, I don't know them necessarily beforehand, and they were falling from a great distance or climbing down through this cloud cover, and I had hidden in the clouds a rock, ROC, giant bird eats elephants, and I rolled an intimidation check on these people to see if I could shake them loose off of the wall and get them to fall. And I crit failed my intimidation check. So forevermore, that poor rock went down with the nickname Thunder Quack, because instead of a mighty roar, it let loose this tiny little duck sound. And they were just really confused about why there was a duck in the clouds. Massive, huge, dragon-sized duck. Yeah, Quackzilla was exactly it. So I've never really lived that down with that group since.
Fine. What's the highest level you've ever played a character to?
So that's kind of a tricky question because in the early days of play, we systematically experimented with playing through all the levels to the point where we actually hadn't have enough and had to go higher. So in AD&D, the first sort of mainstream public edition of D&D, there wasn't a cap. It was like after level 30, it's 500,000 experience points for each level after that. So, and at that point, you're like, well, we're traveling the plains and we're chatting with the gods and we're building planes of our own and there isn't really anything in the worlds left for us to do. So I guess the answer is, I think we were like 33 in the highest one. Yeah, but as far as being a DM and my players that all started from the beginning, the highest that we've taken them from the beginning is 20, I think, all the way up to the top. But most campaigns, they get ready to start again or burned out on that character around level between kind of 14 and 17. If you follow the book experience, it just starts being so slow to level up.
Okay, let's see. Then number 10, what's your favorite magical item?
I don't know if a mimic counts, but I really like that I like the idea of a domesticated mimic as a pet. But as far as an actual magic item goes, for a homebrew item, recently probably is the beaver cannon. I like the potato gun, the potato blunderbuss.
Yes.
For an actual in-game, in-book item, boy, I don't know. Anything that stores spells or stores potions or things like that, I tend to try to maximize use out of.
Okay, and then number 11. If you had an in real life alignment, what would it be?
I think I probably ping pong around. I don't know that mine would stay constant, so maybe I would average out most of the time around neutral good. Because I definitely think I go back and forth between obsessive compulsive lawful and just off the wall bonkers chaotic. But generally on the good side and neutral good side of the spectrum, I think. You like to think that about yourself, that you're on the good side of the spectrum. Well, now I definitely can be the opposite when I'm a DM and I'm thinking of, or when I'm a player and I'm rigging up an electromagnet to trip a centaur. That was pretty evil as a player.
I remember that. I need this whole list of items. What possibly could I use it for?
What do you need this soap for? Oh, well, we're going to be in hell, right? Here's a lemon. I need a lemon.
I need a lemon. Everybody else, I'm going to get my magical items charged up. I'm going to go get my weapons sharpened. I'm going to get a lemon.
Pretty much. That's all I need. We're going to go journey through hell. Well, I guess later I was like, darn, I needed 2 lemons.
Okay, and then I think number 12, I believe. If you had to date one of your characters, which one would you pick?
Wow. I guess I should have read the questions before I had to answer them.
And I guess this would count for DMing as well if you had like a character that you created too, I guess, maybe.
Probably has to, because I don't really, Neon, if it was a character I was as a player, I would probably pick Neon over Kip.
You have 2 characters, which one would you
Yeah, really, I got a 50-50 shot. As a DM of the NPCs that I've created, boy, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, Ninarth's probably got the best stories. Someone with a good sense of humor.
Someone with a good sense of humor.
That's a bare minimum for me.
Number 13. Is there a character you want to play but haven't had a chance to play yet?
As a player, not really. I mean, my love of the game is really in being a DM. So, I like, if I have a character, I'm going to enjoy trying to figure out what to do with them, you know, so there's almost like a wanting or a lacking in the characters I have to think that I would want to play something different. Mm-hmm. Although, I think it would be interesting to have an all-evil party, and that's something that I've never been as a player. I've run that several times as a DM, but I think playing as... And not just okay, this is our excuse to murder hobo, but actually like let's try and corruptly influence the world. So I think that would be interesting.
Okay, number 13. I think we're on 13. Are you a dice goblin or a dice minimalist?
I am neither. I am a dice practicalist, I guess I would say. So I don't hoard them like I need more, and I need those shiny ones, and I need those metal ones, and I need those 3D printed ones. But at the same time, I don't want to like ever be caught without enough to share. So I bought a 3-pound bag of not matching dice that I just sort of towed around in case anybody needs to use it, or in case I'm like, all right, D20, you have rolled crit fails 3 in a row. Time to change you out for something different. So I get mistaken for a dice goblin a lot because I have so many dice, but I don't really attach the need of either of those functions.
Okay, and then last question: what rule or mechanic have you never quite wrapped your brain around?
So, Thaco was a problem in the early editions, which is to hit armor class 20, to hit armor class 0, THAC 0, Thaco. And essentially, armor class used to be inside out, where your armor class counted down the better it got. And so it was more like it was listing your chances to hit, the chances of them hitting you if they roll a 20. Which means if you had a 0 Thaco to hit armor class 0 would mean they couldn't hit you on a d20 unless they had modifiers or, rolled a critical or something like that. So that never really... We played it. We all hated it. I hated trying to get new players to experience it and get them involved. It was like, just ignore Thaco and let somebody else do it while you're learning the game. Once you fall in love with the game, then we'll tell you about Thaco. In current rules, I don't know. It seems like they go. Yep. What?
Well, I was just gonna say it. So kind of like Call of Cthulhu, where like your skills are you have to roll, you have to roll the number of your skill or lower in order for that to be a success. So kind of like that. Yep,
that's exactly right. But only for armor class. Everything else had it right. All the other checks, everything you can do, saving throws, everything else was right side in, and Thaco was inside out.
I'm just picturing this guy walking around like in armor, but like the padded like inside part is like out, like poof.
Yep, exactly.
Alright, I think that's it for questions.
Awesome, I survived. Alright, now you know, Internet. If you didn't know before, now you know. I want to send out a special thanks for Frybox64 being the interviewer, and hopefully we'll get to make a compliment video to this one where she gets to be in the spotlight. So, alrighty, thanks for watching, Internet. Like, subscribe. You can support on Patreon and buy me a coffee, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Internet.
Bye.
Oh, and also thanks to Ginny D for putting this whole thing together. So, got to mention that too. Okay, this time for real.